You got to hold it up because it says Dogma on yours. Oh, hey, Father Doug, what's going on?
Hey, Father James. Good morning.
Hey, good. I was just taking some leisure.
Oh, yes,
and reading a little Thomas Merton.
A little
here.
reading with your coffee in the morning. Very
Father
good.
James coming back at you with Coffee with the Collars with
Father Doug.
And we're talking about leisure today, the art of leisure, the spirituality of leisure, how important leisure is to us. So, Father, when I bring this topic up to you, the topic of relaxation, the topic of taking a day off, the topic of leisure, what comes to your mind?
Yeah. Well, I think it's an important topic for the modern world because we live in kind of a, we have a lot of demands on our time. People work long hours, and then when they have a little space to try to relax, sometimes I think our whole vision of what that is just gets filled up with like, well, I just need to relax the strain. I just need to do something mindless. I just need to kind of to veg out, as they say. And we've got pretty much limitless opportunities with the internet and whatever and Netflix and all that to do that. So, but I think there's this idea of leisure that that has to do with freedom. And whenever we get free from kind of economic constraints, like you don't have a lot of time for leisure if you've got to be working in your field 24/7, just having.
What's the bottom line? What's the bottom line? If that's all you're living like, then you're going to struggle with leisure.
Yeah, but if you've got a space of freedom from kind of economic, necessity, the chance to do something that isn't really necessary, economically speaking, to think, to pray, to read, to engage in the arts, to cultivate friendships, these things. This is kind of the idea of leisure, that if a lot of our activity serves kind of our biological life, it's also important to have a space to cultivate the soul.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up because Aristotle once said that the most important moments of our lives are almost always the least useful moments of our lives. I mean, like, you get up in the morning and you got to go get the oil changed in your car. I mean, that's pretty useful because car's going to break down if you don't get the oil changed. You go down to get your groceries at the grocery store. If you don't have supplies, you can't live.
Yeah.
You pay your bills. If you don't pay your bills, the electricity is going to be turned on. These are necessary things to exist in our society. But then if you sit on the back deck with your best friend and just shoot the breeze for a couple of hours, just hanging out with no agenda whatsoever, it might look as if that was a waste of time. But in fact, at the end of the day, that will be the best time that you spent.
One of the most valuable things, yeah. Yeah, so I think one of the when we talk about leisure, one of the habits I try to cultivate is I don't know, different things work for different people, but for a while now, it's been a help to me to try to get up early in the morning. I always found that when I just got up and then got right about my business, and then I came to the end of my day and I had some time left, that I was more likely to spend that time just on kind of vegging out. So at some point in my life, I started trying to make an effort to go to bed earlier and to wake up earlier, and then to have that space of time be early in the morning instead of late at night. And I found that when I did that, I was much more likely to spend it reading, praying, doing things that really kind of tried to cultivate our spiritual life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. When I was a kid, I never wanted to get up early. It was like onerous to have to get up early in the morning. But I agree. I get up about 5:45 every day, and now I don't even need to set the alarm. I just get up, and it's just so nice just to be in the quiet, make myself a cup of coffee, and that really is a space for me to be aware of God. I mean, maybe that's really what leisure is. To be aware of the presence of God in your life. To not be so confined by measurable things that you can sort of have apprehension of.
Sure.
But to be able to know that God is, and that He is with you. I mean, maybe that's the key to leisure.
And I think that goes into a wide range of leisure activities. So, I mean, I guess maybe prayer is kind of the leisure activity par excellence. And then there's theological study, but there's also study of other things. That makes you aware of how God is in the world. And then I think in the real true sense, something like a hobby, or the contemplation of nature, or being outdoors or the cultivation of your skills or the making of beautiful art, all those things that are classically considered leisure activities, you could weave that thread through all of them. Yeah. If they're really at their best, all of those things are helping you to be aware of God, aware of the goodness of God.
You know, as you say that, it even reminds me of things here at the parish like ministries. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are some ministries that we don't have to have. It's not necessary for us to sing Vespers every Sunday night. It's unnecessary. And yet, for me at least, it's one of the most important moments of the week because it's this beautiful encounter with God through this incredible music in this incredible chapel. I could just go to my house and read Vespers and just read the lines, but it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be as beautiful. It wouldn't be as leisurely.
Yeah.
So that's a great point, Padre.
Yeah. So we hope maybe that we've given you some things to think about, the role about leisure in your own life, maybe some motivation to try to carve out a space for it, a space to be aware of the presence of God. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to my book now and enjoy some time. Thank you, Father.
Very good.